get the city clerk to come back and take roll. So if you all could just stand at ease for just a moment, please. We're trying to juggle between a hearing that we had to recess from and come back in here and get this business taken care of, and then we've got to go back and conclude our hearing. In the meantime, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll go ahead and recognize Reverend Donna Arrows from St. Paul United Methodist Church to give our invocation. So if you all please rise, we'll have the invocation by Dr. Arrows. Thank you for being with us.
Gracious God, you who are creator of us all, the men and women here have come from different neighborhoods, different subdivisions, different streets, to do the business of this city. We ask for your guidance, that they would do that business with compassion and understanding, realizing that what they do is for the good of all. We thank you for the blessing of living in this town and the beautiful trees and flowers that brighten our days. Once again, we ask your guidance on the work that is done here tonight. Amen.
Amen. I believe it is Commissioner Hedden's turn to do the Pledge of Allegiance, so please join us with Commissioner Hedden as she leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Reverend. And now, I will ask. Not ready?
I'm not ready, I'm sorry.
We explained to him we're trying to switch over between hearings and meetings, and we have our electronic instruments have to be switched over for recording purposes. So we will just stand at ease for just a moment.
Okay, all right.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Roach.
Here.
Mr. Haynes.
Here.
Mr. Powers. Here. Mr. Hedden. Here. Mayor May.
Here, we do have a quorum present, and this time I'd ask for any action on the minutes from the March 17th, 2014 special meeting, March 24th, 2014 regular meeting, April 7th, 2014 special meeting.
Move approval for those three meetings.
Moved by Commissioner Haynes, second by Commissioner Hedden. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Roach.
Yes.
Mr. Haynes.
Yes.
Mr. Bowers.
Yes.
Mr. Hedden. Yes. Mayor May.
Yes, thank you so much. Under ceremonial items, one of the items that is listed here, we have as our Reforest Frankfort 2015 T-shirt contest winners, and we'll ask Ms. Rebecca Hall to come forward and announce those winners with Mr. Jim Parrish, our Parks Director, and Ms. Lori Gruber, our Arborist.
Reforest Frankfort 2014 was very successful this year. We partnered with the state at Salado, and every year we have art students from all of our high schools and KSU compete to see who has the best design, and the actual reforesters that volunteers vote on the best design. So we have our top three winners. I don't think they're all represented here. I think we just have one, but we're going to go ahead and have our new arborist, Lori Gruber, announce them.
We'll do it like the Miss America pageant, from third, second, and then first. Our third place winner was Valerie, and I hope this is correct, Miner. Miner. Awesome, and she's here. This was her design.
Congratulations. That was a beautiful design. That was on, was that on a t-shirt this year?
It will be on next year.
Next
On
year's
next
t-shirt.
year's.
She wants to get, we'll turn around and do it.
Congratulations. Nice work.
And the
All
others
right.
are not here.
And the others are not here. Do you want to see their?
Yeah, let's do that.
Second place was Callie Tolles, I believe, and this was her design. And then first place is Miss Sierra Demers with this lovely rendition of it. Is she one of our winners?
I'm a mother.
For which?
Sierra Denise.
For Sierra? Yes.
Beautiful design as well. So much.
Thank you.
Took her money.
The next item, we also would call on Parks and Recreation for some new staff introductions, and Mr. Parrish will be making those as well.
Thank you, Mayor. We have two additions to the park staff we just wanted to introduce and kind of put a face with a name and all that. It's kind of, they're unique positions, not just in parks, but they work with all city departments, planning and public works and sewers called upon, like different types of deal, whether it's history or being an arborist or what. First, Lori Gruber went to U of L, and she's a graduate of St. Louis Community College, 15 years in the arborist business, and she's from last 6 years has been the arborist in Lake St. Louis, and we're pleased to have her as the new city arborist. Lori Gruber.
Welcome, Lori. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Also, our new curator of historic sites is Tom Fugate. Tom's a graduate of Lincoln Memorial University. He came out of college and was the history assistant at the Arsenal. He worked for the Kentucky Heritage Council, and he retired as an environmentalist at the Kentucky National Guard. So he's got over 33 years of experience, and we're pleased. He's worked for us part-time at the City Museum for 10 years, and he is now the new curator of historic sites, which is the museum, Fort Hill, things at the River Park, our downtown activities, and Capital City Museum. So, Tom Fugate.
And welcome, Tom. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Parrish.
you.
Next item, we have, our fire chief wants to make a citizen recognition of two individuals for their acts of bravery and heroism. And do you want me to announce their name, or do you want to?
Sure. This is Brian Saucer. Yes. And Angela Beadle. So if you'll come on up. On March 29, 2014, Frankfort Fire and EMS received a call for fire and an explosion across from 132 Pickett Avenue. The initial call indicated that there could be one or more persons still within the house, and that there were vehicles in the driveway, leading them to think that possibly there were people in the house. First arriving units found fire forcefully blowing out a picture window, and there was also smoke so heavy on the streets that first responders found it hard to navigate down the street. The smoke was so intense. The original caller, Ms. Beadle, made the dispatchers aware that someone was going to try to check and see if there were victims within the house. And in fact, Mr. Brian Saucer did go to the front door, and the smoke was so thick that when he opened the front storm door, he wasn't even sure if there was a real door behind it or not, he told me on the day of the fire. Some of the black smoke bellowed out. He got below the smoke and was able to look within the house. In fact, he did see a victim laying within the front door. Mr. Saucer was able to pull the victim to the front porch, at which point Ms. Beadle was able to help him drag the victim onto the front yard, and later the Frankfort Police Department and Frankfort County Sheriff's Office was also able to help move the victim farther out to the roadway. Even though first arriving units were just a few minutes away, I have no doubt the conditions that the victim was facing that day were not sustainable for another 2 minutes. The victim was transported to the hospital. He was unresponsive when he was removed, and he had burns on about his head and shoulders. There's no question in my mind that he's making a successful recovery today due to the actions, especially Mr. Saucer, and the help that Ms. Beadle removing him from the house. And with that, I would like to present them with the Chief's Commendation Award. I appreciate it. do only like to add that we heard about the public safety community and the work that they do, and everyone in the public safety community does do a lot of good work, but it never takes the place of a good neighbor or a good Samaritan across the street, or whatever the case may be, that's willing to take that extra. But it was I think anyone would tell you that it was a very intense scene that day for the fire to be coming out the front and the smoke, and the police officers got so far down the street that they could not even see the house, the smoke, the environmental conditions that day. So it really was a heroic effort of the two.
Thank you all. Would you come forward so the commissioners may also introduce themselves and shake their hands? And it's Commissioner Hedden on the end, and Commissioner Bowers, Commissioner Haynes, Commissioner Roach. Thank you all again. Would also, Chief, I recognize, was our crew, is this the same crew that,
This, for the most part, was not, there were probably a couple there that day.
but I know and on a daily basis, our folks are always available and prepared to respond and to assist and save folks, and we thank the department for sending, I guess, the members of Station 1, Station 2.
We had a bunch of people there that day between the transports.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm in like right here, Station 1 and 2. Is there any other people from Station
I think 1 and 2 are.
1 and 2? That's all I saw. But
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here to support. Thank you again. All right, next item, citizen comments. This is for agenda items only. Will we have any citizens that would like to comment on any of our agenda items? All right, if not, we'll move on to ordinances. We have a second reading on ordinance, and we can take questions from commissioners if there are any, and if not, we'll ask the solicitor to read it by title and summary only.
4.1, this is an ordinance amending Chapter 35 of the City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances concerning taxation. Summary. This ordinance provides additional authority for the collection of delinquent ad valorem or property taxes, interest, and penalty, as well as costs and attorney's fees incurred in the collection of said amounts. The Director of the Finance Department, working with the City Attorney, is authorized to file actions in the name of the City of Frankfort to collect the delinquent taxes in an action filed against an individual taxpayer, Section 35.061, or against a number of properties, Section 35.062, in the same action.
Thank you all. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Roach, second by Commissioner Haynes. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes, 4.1 is adopted. Next item, we have a first reading of an ordinance appropriating the revenue to be received by the City of Frankfort for the fiscal year 2014-2015. Asked the solicitor to read it by title and summary only.
This is 4.2 by title, an ordinance appropriating the revenue to be received by the City of Frankfort for fiscal year 2014-2015. And by summary, this ordinance appropriates revenue to be received by the City of Frankfort for fiscal year 2014-2015 in accordance with the budget submitted and hereby approved.
Thank you. That's had its first reading. There are no orders. Next
I
item.
make a,
I'm sorry.
wait a
Henry.
minute. I make a motion that we table that.
I second.
Okay, well, we don't have to do any action if it was just a first reading.
Correct.
And if you want to make amendments to it or change it.
Well,
we
but
can.
I got that, can we have a little discussion?
Absolutely.
Only because I'm a little lost.
Okay.
I got that email today. I responded back that I thought that we shouldn't do that, and I think a couple of other people think that too, but I guess I'm asking for clarification. Or if we're gonna be changing the budget, I assume we're having the first reading because we can make the changes later and the process will go quicker.
We'll still have
What-
to have a first reading if it changes.
Right.
If you make
This is
significant
just in
changes.
case it doesn't, this is in case it doesn't change.
Well, I'm not for having the first reading. But it may be too late for that now, I don't know.
It actually would be unless we can actually rescind that.
I'll make a motion that we rescind it.
I'll second.
That'd be okay. Mr. Solicitor, we'll just undo it. Okay, make a motion,
Well-
Commissioner Roach, and second by Commissioner Hidden. Okay, discussion.
I guess when this, we were,
It's okay, we can undo it. We'll do it.
I just had a comment on a piece of this. Elimination of 5 full-time employees in an effort to improve efficiency standards. I have a feeling that's gonna stay in the budget, even if it changes, because there was particularly one issue that was gonna cause this to change so that a first reading would happen later on possibly. And that is not, that would lead you to believe that we're not efficient now with those 5 positions. And those 5 positions, I understand, are, those people are gonna be leaving, so we're just not gonna fill those positions. But the way that's worded would lead one to believe that we're not efficient now, and I don't think that is the case. And I think that the real reason that those 5 positions may not be filled is that we're trying to cut cost. And I think that's something entirely different than efficiency standards, but it's just my comment. And so we might want to address that if the budget should be, I think it's going to be amended, or I think the changes are going to be coming back to us. So I think that just needs to be more clear there. And I'll also ask, has there been any progress on that issue that may cause this to change for a first reading? Specifically, we were discussing the stormwater utility fee, and that staff was going to bring us back some different options. Is there any progress on that? Do we have anything?
Oh, great. City Manager.
Our stormwater utility committee met
Okay.
last week and had some initial dialogue. I was gone for a couple of days. They've had some additional. It is going to be on our staff agenda Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. However, I feel that it will take some time, but ultimately, I think the bottom line will be the decision of the commission, the mayor. We will provide you a list of options that you can look at. The idea was not to create a fee, but rather to absorb the costs within the existing budget. So we'll provide you with a menu of options that the commission can take a look at.
Thank you.
Any others before we go? Okay. Motion is to rescind the first reading of item 4.2. If there's no other question, discussion, ask the clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes, so item 4.2 does not have a first reading. Thank you. Next item is resolutions. We have one resolution that's in support of the renovation of the old YMCA. This was discussed at our last work session. If there's any questions, we can answer those. If not,
We left that resolution, as was Commissioner Hedden suggested an amendment, and then I suggested another amendment. We changed, nothing's changed since those suggested amendments, correct?
correct.
I move for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Haynes,
Second?
second by Commissioner Bowers. Any discussion? See none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
No.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden?
Seeing that they still owe the city some money based on fees and things given to them that they haven't paid, I'm going to vote no at this time until that money is brought forth to us.
Commissioner May?
Yes, resolution 6.1 is adopted. Next item would be consent calendar, so if we can go through these as quickly as possible, then we would have let me say this, old business and new business should not
No.
be on this agenda,
Error.
so they are to be stricken due to the nature of a special meeting call. So we'll go through as quickly as possible the consent calendar items.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 7.1 is amend the contract with Mountjoy Chilton to add one more year to perform the city audit for fiscal 13-14 at a cost of $31,040, which is the same amount. There is no additional cost for the additional year. Item 7.2 is a sewer extension contract with Quinton Court Frankfort LLP for a new senior center on Schenkel Lane. All costs are paid by the contractor. Item 7.3 is also a sewer extension contract with Empire Construction and Development for development on Twilight Trail. Again, all costs are paid by the contractor. Item 7.4 is an $82,300 construction contract with ADE Contracting to install about 350 feet of 8-inch sanitary sewer main, including 4 manholes along Winding Way. Item 7.5 is not to exceed $19,000 professional services agreement with Otis Engineering LLC to design new sewer main on Clay Avenue that will replace existing septic systems. Item 7.6 is a $719,399 contract with construction to build a new wash bay for the Public Works Department on Bald Knob Road, $703,000 of which will be reimbursed as a grant from the Transportation Delivery. Item 7.7 is a $27,657.65 digital recorder purchase from Applied Digital Solutions, replacing a 6-year-old unit for E911. Item 7.8 is a $5,000 CSX tree giveaway grant application that will provide 75 or more trees that will be given away during National Neighbor Woods Month in October 2014. No match is required. Item 7.9 is a $7,000 CSX restoration grant application for plant material and supplies in addition to a tree analysis. No match is required. Item 7.10 is a $24,000 consultant agreement with Carman to create a wayfinding sign master plan for the downtown area. Item 7.11 is a memorandum of agreement with Frankfort Regional Medical Center to allow emergency room nurses to participate in Frankfort EMS ride-along program. Item 7.12 is personnel. We have 3 appointments in our police department: Frank Morgan, Ben Sullivan, Jeffrey R. Belcher, all effective April 15, 2014 as Patrol Officer 1. We have a resignation of Wesley Willis in the police and E911 department as a telecommunicator, and it includes authorizing payment of all accrued leave. Item 7.13 is a memorandum of agreement between the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the City of Frankfort to provide temporary shuttle service from May 12, 2014 through February 12, 2015 from Fair Oaks Lane to Riley Road.
Thank you.
Consent agenda.
Need further consent items. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Roach,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Hedden. All those who signify their presence tonight will be considered to have voted affirmative in the consent items unless they file vote modification forms with the city clerk. I don't believe there are any, so consent item numbers are approved. Next item, last item is board appointments, and these are, would you like to do these separately, or can we do them all at one time?
I think
What's your
once we
pleasure?
agreed to, at one point, we agreed to do them separately.
Okay. First one would be reappointment of Marie Cole to Forestry Advisory Board for a 3-year term.
I move we accept your recommendation.
Moved by
Second.
Commissioner Bauer, second by Commissioner Hedden. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hedden?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes, thank you. Next one would be a reappointment to the Forestry Advisory Board of Kim Coward for a term ending in 5/8/17.
I move we accept your recommendation.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bauer, second by Commissioner Haynes. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hedden?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes, and thank you. Next item would be a reappointment of Rebecca Bishop to the Forestry Advisory Board for a 3-year term ending 5/8/17.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Moved by Commissioner Hedden, second by Commissioner Bowers. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Bowers? Commissioner Hedden?
Yes.
Mayor May?
Yes, and thank you again. Next one would be a new appointment to fill a vacancy This would be for appointment of Diane Peters to the Forestry Advisory Board for a 3-year term ending 5/8/17.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hadden, second by Commissioner Haynes. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes. And thank you all, and thank all these individuals for serving. That concludes our special meeting, and we will, upon adjournment of this, at the call of the chair, we'll go back into our hearing. Sorry.
Can I do two quick, I know,
No.
old business can relate to items we've had before, right?
No.
Can't, okay.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's fine.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Maybe that we adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bowers, second
Can
by
I ask a
Commissioner
question?
Haynes. Some discussion on the adjournment.
No, not on
You
the
can-
adjournment. I just wondered, that
Actually,
this
then, I'm
is,
sorry, I apologize, but I have to.
we have all the
since
new
this-
business on the agenda,
It was
and I
a-
was just wondering why it's there.
It was my error.
Okay.
We got an email saying something.
Since it's there, I thought if Commissioner Roach had something there, it is on the agenda, but,
It has to be specific in
Okay.
nature.
It is.
Sorry. Okay. Clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Roach?
Yes.
Commissioner Haynes?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers?
yes.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, we're adjourned. Thanks. Sorry.
I'm lost again.